Hey folks, thanks for stopping by. I got a little update on our energy stocks. Alright, let's get it. First up, American Electric Power. As you can see, AEP here. Ran into some previous resistance area at 105.60. Sold off. Trying to find some support now here at about $93, looks like. Alright, so we're back into this little bit of a range here. Okay, so if we break that and head down, look for our support down here at 86.31 to take over. What we don't want to see is it going all the way back down to the $74 area like it did here. Okay, so I think her move is still in the top side here before it starts to head back down here, and then repeat. All right, next up CEG, kind of the same story. Got this window it needs to close 209.31. Get that window closed and let's head back up to retest 285.41, and then maybe we'll start a consolidation range before heading higher. Next up, Center Point Energy. As you can see, it's already in this little bit of a range here. Kind of ran into the top again, sold off. Looking for some support at around $31 or so. If that should hold, we should head back up to retest this 33.50. We get a retest and maybe get a hit and confirmation for support, we will continue heading higher. If not, look out for the sell-off and retesting of this area, since it wants to be in this range, bouncing around. Alright, and there's a couple of them that are similar to this particular one. DKL, I believe, is the same. Yeah, we're almost at the bottom of this support area, ready to head back up to retest to 62.21. So keep an eye on that one. We can find some support at 35.19. Look for the retest of 62.21. Next up, E-Ton Corp, and it's got it hit a high of 379.99. Had a window open, so it looks like it wants to come back and maybe shut that window and then go back to retest. That's my guess on that one. We got our trade winds coming up to act as support in the same area as the window being closed. We got our support line here at 331.50. So yeah, I think we're gonna catch this one and keep pushing it higher into the next year. Alright, keep an eye on that one. But definitely see it closing this window. It makes more sense for it to close this window before trying to go higher. Next up, EXE, and we're at the top of that range, so keep an eye on it. Ran into some trouble here at 101.27, so see what happens once we get to this 107.31 area. If it does make it there, then be careful up there, because we don't know if we're gonna go on through or sell off and come back down and retest this low again, as it seems to be in this some kind of range thing going on. Next up, NEE, Next Era Energy, and kind of the same story. Chopping around up here in this range, and it sold off down here and then popped back up. Now it's back in this range. We got the trade winds coming up to support it, but it looks like it's having some trouble in here. Gap down, then went back up and closed that gap. Now it's back down here again. So if this area doesn't hold, look for a retest of $69. And for support, if that doesn't hold, look out below. Alright, next up, Oracle. And Oracle also is selling off It's got windows open and it needs to reconcile as well. It closed this one here and it popped up, left the window open here, and then made another window here. So it dropped down to close that one, but it didn't reconcile this one. So we'll see what happens in this area if we're going to just use that one, pop up, close it, and then head back down again. Or if we're going to just go back and retest this high and try to get above it. Alright, be careful with this one. Even though we did drop down to close this window, we still have this window down here at around 143. Alright, next up, SRE, Sempra Energy, and as you can see, it's hit this area here, so it all popped back up, got through it. Took a lot to get through. You look at that rocket that it had to catch a ride on to get up through there. Alright, so it got this rocket and took it up through there, but now it's coming back down in here because it took a lot. So there's probably a lot of buyers still down in here, but we'll see where it comes back to find some support, because I think that 8824 was just a test, or just a, something we put out there for now, because it hasn't been tested as a support area. Alright, it just went to that high once, came down here, and then it broke that high here, made a new high, and so now we're looking for our support area in here, which will probably be down in here somewhere, but we'll see. Alright, next up, TXNM Energy Inc. And we're getting a little bit of a sell off in that one too, and that one's probably just following the others. So just keep an eye on it, look for the support of these other bigger ones, and once they find some support area, then you can come back to this one and look to where it's going to support at, and before it starts to head back higher and retest that $50 area. Alright, so that's it. That was real quick on the energy. They're not too bad, but just some of them look like they may be at their highs and wanting to pull back to head back down to retest the lows. And but for the most part, some of them are dividend plays too, so you can make a dividend if you're trying to go long. If you're trying to go short, then you might want to consider that. Alright, so that's it for now. Thanks for stopping by. Subscribe, hit the like button and notification, and we'll let you know when the next one's coming out. But be careful out there, these markets are crazy.